An egg faster than the speed of sound?
Moments later.
Oh, so we're aiming for twice the speed of sound. Generic intro into that goes. We're here back with another video. Today we are reacting to Egg Drop from Space by Mark Rober. I watched nearly every single video Mark Rober has uploaded. He only uploads, I believe, 12 videos a week, but I'm trying to upload 100 videos in the month of December, and this is one of the videos I've set aside and not watched yet, as well as the Squirrel Olympics 3.0, which I could also react to as well during this random sporadic month of uploads. I was on par to do 75 videos this month, according to my normal schedule, and I've decided, hey, let's do 25 extra videos this month on top of, 19 live streams, and I edit every single video, record every single video. It's a one-man show. I make every single thumbnail, and I read every single comment as well, and I reply to all of your, or not all of your comments, but a lot of the comments I reply to, so I'm actually reading them, or I'll mention them in future videos. But I watch pretty much every video Mark Rober has uploaded. I've been saving these two just in case I wanted to throw them into my 100 videos in December, because it's my biggest undertaking I have ever done. But this is going to be interesting. I'm not sure what the science behind this is. I'm very, very just like, I love what Mark Rober does. He teaches in a very, very easy way that I'm like, these videos fly by. Like, this is a 27-minute long video. It's going to feel like it's a 10-minute long video, and I'm going to learn something by the end of it, which I absolutely love about his videos. Also, shout out to patrons. Taking the videos day early and allowing a ton of a paywall on the channel, because some of these videos might get copyright claimed. I do not care, because all I want to do is put out 100 videos this month, just because I can say that I did it, and I did it all myself. So I have a wonderful team of people running like my Discord server and stuff like that. So it's not all just me, and thank you for watching these videos and all that fun stuff. But let's go ahead and jump into Egg Drop from Space.
This is Space,
and
this is
did he use a weather balloon?
Before I attempted the world's highest egg drop. Now, in an egg drop
but there's nothing attached
in case
to
you never
it.
had the chance to do it yourself in school, the goal is to build
I've
a contraption that can protect a raw
I did it all myself because group projects,
from the tallest height possible. So my
but also,
original
if you
plan
skip the
was
intro,
to
I'm trying to do
drop an egg
100
in a
videos this
contraption I
month
built
just to
from
say
the
that I
world's
did.
tallest building. But
I don't know if
humans are
it
always
is
building
allowed,
taller
copyright
buildings.
claims,
So if I really
whatever.
wanted to future-proof this record,
But I need
realized
videos to
I would
react
need
to.
to go all the way to the top
You wanna see
and
Squirrel
straight
Olympics?
to outer space. And when I started on this journey 3 years ago, I
And
knew
also,
if I could draw my experience
I know
of landing
his
stuff on other
package thief
planets,
video.
I would be guaranteed the record. But what I didn't know is this would be the most physically, financially, and mentally draining video I would ever attempt. But first, let me just explain what I was thinking. The plan was to clamp an egg to the front of a rocket, then attach that rocket to a weather balloon and take it up to space.
Why would you?
Once there, the weather balloon would
the
release
rocket.
it, and just by using gravity only, the rocket would eventually accelerate past Mach 1, breaking the speed of sound,
egg
and then it would
faster
autonomously
than the
adjust
speed of
force fins on the
sound?
back to steer itself to the target location, and then at 300 feet above the ground, it would release the egg, which would free fall onto a mattress that we'd placed on the ground. And that
Dude,
all
what kind of
seemed
mattress
pretty
did I have to be?
straightforward. So like any good engineers would, we broke the
In the
problem
Crunch
down
Labs.
into smaller steps, starting first
I'm
with
gonna learn
calculating
so
the
much from
terminal
this video.
velocity
I
of an
love
egg.
it.
And by
Terminal velocity, oh
I
god,
mean
I
that
was
any
not good in
object,
physics.
including humans, have a maximum speed at which they fall
Yeah.
once the force of Earth pulling you towards
You can
it
only go so
balances with the pushback force from bumping into more and more air molecules as you start to fall faster. For humans, that max speed is about 120 miles per hour, and after doing some simple
That's
math for
fast.
an egg, it tops out at 75 miles per hour.
Okay.
So to make sure the egg wouldn't break,
That's
if we
slower
dropped it
than
onto
a
mattress
Major
at
League
its terminal
Baseball pitcher by a
velocity,
lot.
we ran our first test. And since we couldn't find a tall enough building whose lawyers would agree to let us hurl an
That's
egg off the side
understandable.
and onto a mattress, we had to improvise a bit.
And it was going 83.
Yes!
Okay. Does that?
No cracks. So our mattress will
So
protect
the mattress-
the egg, even if it's traveling faster than its terminal velocity.
Okay,
That's a
but
good
you
start.
have to put the
The
egg
next
on the
step in our
mattress.
DIY space program was to head back to my friends in the small farming town of Greeley, California, which is the place where he broke the elephant toothpaste world record.
yeah.
Where the plan was to
How many
set
world
up a
records does he
target
actually
mattress
hold?
for the egg to land on in the middle of a field, with a little bit of margin built in just in case.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the smoke charge back here, so that as we're like coming
can
down
actually
to
see
the
it.
sky, we want to be able to pick it out. This is the computer. Here's the fins.
This,
Oh, that's
by the way,
expensive.
is Joe, and he has a fascinating channel called BPS Space. And what
Almost
makes him
500,000
especially
subscribers.
cool is he didn't go to school for any kind of
just
engineering.
taught
degree.
him all-
He's all
taught it himself.
self-taught, and recently even landed a
self-taught with
launched
YouTube,
rocket SpaceX
but
style
I'm nowhere near
after 7
these
years
two.
of trying. Joe was in charge of tracking and guiding the rocket to the mattress using these movable tail fins, whereas
And he's
I was in
late.
charge of
Oh
the
my
payload.
God.
In other words, how we would keep the egg from freezing on the way up in a little
This-
oven with
this-
heaters, which would break away
does he
before
say
it
how
dropped,
much it costs
along with
to
the
do this?
mechanisms to release the egg itself. Release the egg!
But
and the purpose
300
of this first trip to
feet.
Gridley was a flight characterization test. Basically, before we spent all the time
What is
and
an
money
egg
taking
from
the
300
balloon
feet
all the way
like?
up to space, we were here just to do a low altitude test at 10,000 feet, just to prove to ourselves we could steer the rocket using the fins.
We're setting all sorts
But
of world
the-
records
it's-
out here. World's largest mattress, fastest egg,
Yep.
tallest egg drop. What could possibly
They're
go
just
wrong?
throwing it up.
Besides
Yeah, that
like
one missed.
4,000 things.
And so with everything more or less in place and ready to go, all we needed now
What?
was an official egg,
Are they gonna
which
get a-
thankfully Gridley has in abundance.
Oh, hi.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're just gonna be like, I'm stealing this from you. Oh, yeah, no, no.
Okay. Oh, no. Hey.
Can I have it? Did they actually get him?
Precious egg.
In
No,
the
not
history of
Gollum.
our universe, this is the first chicken that's ever laid an egg
That will go to space.
faster than the speed of sound. Supersonic.
Mm.
Mach 1.
That's not necessarily true, because are there eggs on airplanes?
So the next morning we got up
could have
at
been
4
eggs on
a.m. when the
airplanes.
winds would be the most calm to run through all our final pre-launch preparations,
Loading up our lovely egg.
including
Yeah.
the last-minute decision to add a metallic streamer to the back of the rocket to make it easier to visually
Is
track.
that gonna cause
Got
issues?
redundancy all
That
over the
might
place
be
here.
the
Got
issues.
redundant leads, redundant igniters. Mark
Okay,
has 2
lots
servos
of
on the
levels of
fairing.
redundancy that we love to
No
see it.
dumb failures.
And that's exactly when we had our first dumb failure.
What, the egg just straight up.
GPS is mad.
We gotta scrub the launch. We were just walking back, and the egg's all bloop, and it pooped it out.
Oh
And
no.
scrubbing the launch meant we
And it was supposed to-
unfortunately
it was
had to
supposed to
release all
be
the
in there
helium
at-
out of the balloon, which is an opportunity
Mach
I'm not
1.
gonna let just pass on by.
Hello, wow!
How do you only bring one egg to
And
this?
back at home base, we ran some tests that confirmed our hypothesis that since the GPS unit was right at the back of the rocket, the
It's
last-minute
not.
addition of the metallic streamer was interfering
Yep.
with the GPS
I told
signal,
you.
and that messed up the rocket's math in calculating its speed, so it thought it was time to release the egg. So early the next morning, we were
Oh.
back at it with a few modifications, the most important being swapping the metallic tracking streamer
pink
with one
one.
made from plastic.
Okay.
There's
How do they
been hardly
overlook
any
that?
wind today.
I guess
That
they
means
just
it's
didn't think
about
about it.
20 degrees colder, which means our mattresses are kind of frozen.
Ooh.
Nevertheless,
that
we
would be
pushed
kind of bad for
forward.
the egg.
Don't trip, Mark.
As I very carefully delivered the rocket to the new balloon launch site.
Send it.
That's an interesting way of using a rocket. Using a rocket as like like they're using a rocket to
Should we see it?
directional. Like usually you think of rockets as like not using gravity, but they're like pulling themselves. That's how far
there
can
it
it
is.
correct itself?
And while the whole
Are the
thing
fins
looked
big
really
enough
cool,
if it's like
So
miles
we-
away?
Might be in trouble.
we quickly realized the balloon was rising at a slower rate than we anticipated,
We're already
And-
south and we're only halfway up.
which totally threw off the predicted trajectory.
Yes.
And so after a few more minutes, we decided to manually drop the rocket because we're
Early.
already way too far off course for the rocket to make up the lateral distance to the mattress using just the fins and gravity.
3, 2, 1.
But is the
click.
rocket gonna fall? Okay, so that all works. Also, will that stuff like
Oh, boy.
fall? Oh
That's
wait,
not good.
And that's when we encountered the second problem
Which
of the day,
is
as
it
the
spins
fins
out of
actively
control.
forced the rocket into an uncontrolled death spiral.
Oh,
Altitude
great,
is
we love death spirals.
1400, coming down fast.
how fast is this thing going? Okay, okay, it has a parachute at least. Thank God. Ooh,
Well, it landed somewhere.
Check the mattress just in case.
And
no,
since
it
we had the
didn't.
GPS coordinates of the rocket, we
That's
headed out
actually
to
kinda
track
cool.
it down.
The real question is, what's the status of the egg?
They
Mark, I think I might
destroyed.
have some bad news for you.
At which point we stumbled on an entire field of sitting birds, which
Aw,
is another
what in the world?
opportunity I'm not gonna let just pass on by.
Oh my God, that is so many birds.
That's a suit, man. Is that a suit?
I'm pretty sure they're
The
trespassing,
egg
but
did
okay.
release. The fact that this is out means the egg didn't.
Oh
go
God,
down,
it just
so that's
launched
good.
it
But
somewhere.
despite that silver lining, the movable fins seemed to be actually forcing the rocket into that tailspin, which was surprising
Maybe
because
this-
Joe had
maybe it's not
definitely
big
run
enough?
through a lot of analysis and testing before coming here. So after conducting a thorough review of the footage and firmware, he
So-
was able to locate and fix a single rogue negative sign in the code that seemed to be causing
One
all
little-
the control issues. Which
one
meant
little
we
thing.
were ready
Also
to
notice
give
how he has a
this
piece of tape
one
over his
final
webcam.
try. We had run out of spare parts and spare weather balloons, so regardless of outcome,
Also, I don't think
this
helium's
would
that
be
cheap.
the final attempt. If we couldn't land the egg on a mattress from 10,000 feet
You
up,
can't do it
we
from
wouldn't
space.
have any hope of pulling it off,
This
coming
video,
all the
we're
way
already
down
10
from
minutes in this
space.
recording. Jesus.
Phenomenal! That's nerdy space talk for everything is exactly as expected. I'm standing in the middle
Shoes
of
is
the
he
world's
wearing?
largest mattress. where hopefully the egg will be landing.
Watch it land in between a crack of the mattresses. It'd be so bad.
Otherwise, we're pivoting. And my new video is world's largest mattress.
Yeah, well.
Rocket right now.
Sunk cost fallacy.
Last step.
See, look at that. They have a
little
bunch of
girl,
eggs
you're in
now.
For a ride. 3, 2, 1.
Now they have drones that are probably gonna fall. Wow, it's. So are they gonna make it rise faster?
Looking
Did
good
they
so
try a
far.
different balloon
We're
that
at
would go
500 meters.
faster?
Now, in order for the balloon to hit the target mattress, for each launch, we'd started from different spots around Gridley, which raises an interesting question maybe you've wondered yourself.
About the
How
wind.
do big balloons like hot air balloons steer themselves? Or I guess even just know where they're going to land? And the answer is, computers know the wind direction and speed at every height as you go up.
You can't
so on a
really.
given day, if these are the
How do you
predicted wind
store
directions
a
and
weather
speeds,
balloon?
we would need to launch here to be directly above the mattress when we got to 10,000 feet. But how we know all this information is the fascinating part, because every day it's
Because they send up a weather
to
balloon.
launch
Yeah.
2 balloons like this into the sky at noon and midnight London time. But this is done in over 1,000 locations all around the
we have
world
weather
at
patterns.
those same 2 exact moments. And
Really?
these balloons all have something called a radiosonde attached to them that measures things like altitude, pressure,
I don't
temperature,
know, it was
and
all
wind,
done at the same
and then
time.
they transmit the
That has to
information
be a
back
cool
to the ground
job.
station,
Just launch a
which
balloon
gets
every
fed
day.
into supercomputers,
I mean, you probably
and
do
that's the
something else.
reason weather and wind predictions can be so accurate. So
Yeah,
2,000
not
of these
North
massive
Carolina, at
weather
least.
balloons go up every day and then eventually pop and just land somewhere. And since they're transmitting a signal, some folks make a hobby out of just trying to track them down.
Oh wait, so they don't
How
even
close are we
care
to the
about.
drop point?
Balloon release.
Balloon release.
It must not be super expensive
And
equipment.
this time we were releasing right in the target drop zone, which
Oh,
was
well,
good
you can
news on
already
one
see it.
hand, but it raised some new challenges on the other.
Where is it?
Oh. Grab a chair. That's the protection from the egg traveling 5 miles an hour.
See something?
Yeah. Oh, it dropped it. From 300 feet up, though.
98 meters.
Ooh, that is. It landed in water, at least.
Everyone okay?
Now go check the mattress.
That was exhilarating.
So we were much closer this time, and we even managed to steer the rocket in the right direction just slightly.
In the water. Ooh.
Egg?
No egg.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
It's the egg.
that's the egg?
Oh, did it crack?
I mean, it's not cracked.
So after 3 failed attempts, we
It wasn't
still
even
seemed
close,
pretty
was it?
far off from where we needed to be, which meant it was time for the ultimate
How are you gonna do this from
with my buddy
space?
Adam Stelzner, who you might
don't know who that
recognize
is.
as this guy from when we landed Curiosity on Mars.
Oh, I didn't watch that. Wait, so he
He has
called
a
up a
PhD
friend
from
from
Caltech, and he's
NASA?
also the chief engineer for Perseverance and Mars Sample Return. And so after
That's
explaining
crazy.
to Adam what we were trying to do, he immediately spotted a fatal flaw in our brilliant plan.
And you're doing terminal guidance to something about the size of a house. How are you going to do that? How do you do that? I mean, I know how you physically do that. How do you not get busted by the FAA?
In other words, we were basically attempting to make a precision-guided missile.
Dude, there are thousands of people who have done this before, and they are sworn by federal law not to say a single word to you.
Wait, and he's making a
And to be
YouTube
fair,
video about
he
it?
raised a good point. The people who could help us actually can't, and even if we figured it out ourselves, the ethics of just slapping that how-to video up on YouTube are questionable at best. And so after a fruitful discussion with Adam,
how did he overlook
Release
that?
About the height, and then we do a lobbing. The thing you start to worry about is heating. You might want to start with a 2-stage thing.
we decided
it is
to
Mach
pivot,
1.
and instead of a precision-guided egg landing on a mattress in a small town, we would set our sights on a much more general egg landing target by heading out to the
How
desert.
big
But
of a
as part
mattress
the
are we
pivot,
making
we
here?
completely scrapped our old design and spent a couple months designing and building a new system that borrowed heavily from the Curiosity landing, because we figured
Instead
if
of
it could
going
safely
straight
put a
down,
rover
it's
on
gonna
Mars, it could safely land
come in
an
an
egg
angle.
on Earth.
Okay.
So we would still go to space on a weather balloon, but this time the rocket would have fins that didn't move, and it would be 3 times as long and 4 times as heavy to guarantee we would get the egg to supersonic speeds on the way down. Then just like NASA separates the cruise stage in the upper atmosphere and then uses aerobraking to dissipate a bunch of the energy and speed,
There's
we would
gonna be an
separate
air
from
brake?
the back half of the rocket
Or
about
not,
halfway
okay.
down after we'd already broken the sound barrier, and because this is
He really wants to break the sound barrier for some
it would
reason.
naturally aerobrake and reduce its speed to the new lowered terminal velocity.
'Cause
Then
it's
on
lighter,
Mars,
yeah.
the next step is the parachute deploy, followed by the heat shield separation, and we would follow so in kind by launching our own parachute
maybe not
and
lighter,
then
I'm not
release
sure.
our own nose cone, which would then expose our set of cushioning airbags, as you can see here, which we borrowed from the Spirit and Opportunity.
Oh, really?
It was
Now.
intentionally ambitious and extremely complicated, but
And
after a couple
expensive.
months of complete redesign,
So they're not
and
dropping
building,
it
we
raw
found
like the
ourselves
egg
in the
as
desert,
itself,
feeling cautiously
which would be
optimistic.
amazing if
And
they
that was
did.
due in part to our lucky orange parachute, because when I left NASA,
Lucky
my
orange
friends
parachute.
gave me this rectangular piece of nylon. And for scale, that's the exact same rectangle here that's part of the parachute the Curiosity rover used.
Crazy
to
we have
land.
footage of
So
this.
that piece of parachute is
all
actually
just
one of the
animation.
80 rectangles you see here as they were running the final tests in the world's largest wind tunnel.
Oh my God, that's a
fitting
massive-
that after some scribing,
Really? He
a
cut-
bit of
cut
cutting,
that up.
and a little sewing, it had nobly repurposed itself for the new mission. So as the
You know, that
sun
stuff's
went
probably
down,
really
back at the
expensive to
hotel,
manufacture
we worked late into the night
or
on final
purchase.
preparations. This was an idea and a passion project 3 years in the making.
I mean,
And it took a staggering amount of work even to get us to this point.
you could drop
We had
anything. You
thought
could drop an egg
and
from space if you
prepared for so
surround
many
it in a
things that
bunch
could
of
go wrong.
padding.
And while I was feeling optimistic, I knew at the end of the day, it was the laws of physics that would ultimately determine our fate.
True.
So early the next morning, the crew in charge of the balloon got to the launch
crew
site
in
to
charge
start
of the
filling
balloon.
it
The
up.
space
And this balloon looks a little
balloon.
different than the others
Because
because
it's
it's a
going for
zero
space.
pressure weather balloon. The advantage these have over a typical weather balloon is they can go higher up into space, carry more weight, and they're open on the bottom, which means they equalize to the pressure, and it's impossible for them to pop. So when you want it
Oh,
to come down, you send
okay.
a signal that will pull down on a string that's sewn into the side of the balloon, and it opens like a zipper and self-destructs. The downside
Interesting.
is they're incredibly lightweight and so thin and delicate,
It's probably
you have
very
to be really
expensive.
careful and touch it with gloves. And they were about an hour into filling it with the 4 massive
And
tanks
watch
of
like a
helium we
bird
had on
touch it or
hand
something.
when we made a gut-wrenching discovery.
Wait, what?
Hey dude, I got bad news.
That's not a
We have
call.
to scrub.
That's not a call
Start
you want to
taking
make.
the helium out of the balloon.
Launch scrubbed. They had some issues that I guess they can't resolve.
What is
by
the
today.
issue?
So we're sucking out the helium from the balloon and trying for another day. So
They're sucking the helium out of the balloon.
no, yep.
Nothing.
What are you
Wow.
talking about? Are you serious? That's what it sounds like.
Now,
Wait,
for
what?
context, Joe was in charge of this part of the rocket, and me and my team were in charge of all of this.
And they probably
while
didn't work
we
together.
each tested our individual systems
They didn't-
ad
how did they
nauseam,
not
it
test
wasn't
them
until
together?
that morning that we were able to test the integration of the two systems together.
What?
And when we did, it became immediately clear to me I had made a critical
Oh, Mark
oversight.
made the mistake.
So,
Okay.
Tension compression, this is great. It's holding on to that thing fantastically. The problem is, this is so long and heavy, as soon as it wiggles, it's going to want to bend. Great
Yeah.
tension compression, but this happening at Mach 2 is
Mach
not gonna work
2? Oh, so we're aiming for twice the
There's
speed
no
of
other
sound.
balloons in the world of this size that we can get access to. This was the only one for like another month. We're trying to save this one so we could hopefully reuse it, but any slight little damage, you touch it in the wrong spot, and now that's an imperfection that may actually be a failure point for a future mission.
Wow.
And this
I
was
wonder
an
when he actually
absolute
like
low
did the
point.
filming for
The
this.
integration of two independent
'Cause
systems
he probably
is
did this,
such a
like,
classic
months in
failure
advance.
point in engineering. I was crushed I had missed this.
It's
And
crazy he has,
financial
like-
concerns aside,
he has
I felt
several
like
videos
I had
going on
just
that are, like,
let everyone
months
down.
in
Not
progress.
just my
How do you
team
tackle
and the
all
rest
that?
of the crew helping out, but all the other folks, some of whom drove 6 hours to come out and watch as well.
Wow.
But that's the thing with failures. They can sting like crazy, but it's really just a
I
process
mean, he has to
learn
accomplish
one
it.
more
It's
way
Mark Rover.
not to do a thing. And so even as I sat there feeling pretty bad, like any good engineer, I was already coming up with a list of all the things we were going to fix to get back out here and try this dang thing one more
Good.
time. And this
I
principle
mean,
of
get up and try
resiliency is
again.
something I think can be learned. In fact, I believe this so much, I started a toy company called Crunch Labs
yeah.
with the express goal of helping kids think
I'll
like
probably
an engineer.
get some of this for
So
my
with the
nephew.
Build
My
Box, not
nephew's
only do you
2 and a
get a super
half.
fun
I'm not
toy
sure
that
if
you put
he's
together every
quite
month,
old
but you
enough
do it
yet to do this.
alongside me while
But
I teach him all the juicy physics of
he's
how
a
it
menace
works.
to society.
We're right there in the trenches, building
Anything
and
is a weapon.
succeeding together
He'll
till
walk
the
up and
principles really
bite you.
sink in. So if you're a kid
Like,
and you're
he
looking
bought
for
my-
something to
bit
put
my
at the
kneecap.
top of your Christmas wish list, or you want to gift it to someone else so you can be the
'Cause they have
household
different, like,
hero,
age groups
send to
and stuff like that.
crunchLabs.com or use the link in the video description. Now, as far as my plan to bounce back from my own failure, we did 4 things to really get serious.
And now we have
stack the
another
dice in our
rocket
favor
model.
for the final launch.
Another
First
one.
of all, we fixed the connection point with more of a sheath design that could handle the bending moment.
Good.
And then at the
That's
right
good.
altitude, it would autonomously separate the 2 halves with a black powder charge.
Oh.
Second, we ran some vacuum and temperature tests on a raw egg. There's
Make
no
sure it
air
wouldn't,
pressure,
you
and
know.
it's really, really cold in space. So if you don't do something to protect the egg for the 2
that's why it
hours
has
it takes
ice.
the balloon to get up to
2
space, it will
hours?
freeze and crack the egg every time. So we
Oh.
tested some heaters in our egg chamber and proved that they keep the egg warm enough. Third, we built redundancy into our system.
They didn't do
when
this
NASA
before?
sends something to Mars, they can't go there to fix it, so it just has to work.
Yeah,
And
you
for
have to
that
have like
reason,
3
a lot of
fixes for
critical
everything.
systems have backups.
And
Even the part of
backups and
my own
backups.
hardware and Curiosity that accepted a dirt sample from the arm into the belly of the rover had 2 doors that opened to the exact same place in case one of the doors ever stopped working.
Some
In our
stuff
case,
has more redundancy
meant
than that.
making a 2-foot wide custom beach ball that we would stuff with a second egg surrounded in packing materials with a 20-foot streamer on the back we would just drop like a rock. It would be dead simple. No parachutes to deploy, no autonomous timing sequences, and no fancy mechanisms.
You
This
literally
would be
just
our
drop it.
redundant, yet I would argue kind of boring,
It would be.
second chance opportunity to land a safe
But it's a
egg.
backup.
And fourth and finally, we went
But
to
he's
a
not gonna
local
do that.
crane yard to test both our solutions at their respective terminal velocities, starting
Wait,
first
you're gonna reach
with the beach ball.
You're gonna reach terminal velocity from there, and the egg's fine.
She's alive!
Like I said, you just pack it up
That,
with
we tested
bubble,
the final
bubble
landing
wrap.
configuration of the rocket.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! By the way, the actual rover parachute held perfectly.
Which is amazing.
And so after all that, we made the 6-hour trek back to the
crazy
desert
he
for what I
used
was
that. I mean, what
really,
else are you
really
gonna use? When I was
hoping would
workable
be the last
parachute.
time.
Hey guys.
After 4 failed attempts, we had learned so much,
4
which
failed
left
attempts.
me feeling cautiously optimistic. And right out of the gate, we got 2 bits of really good news.
The balloon
first
was
relates
okay.
to that super delicate zero pressure balloon we had to reuse from the last launch because there was no possible way to get a replacement. Just barely touching the balloon leaves it stressed and creates a weak point for it to tear, so I was obsessively
Really?
checking the fish scale
There's people
reading
that are
would give us the
trained just to
verdict.
do
The
this.
force reading is 37.6 kilograms of buoyancy force pulling this up.
I don't know how much that
Importantly,
is.
it's not changing. If it were changing and going down,
I mean, there'd be a hole
that
in
means
it.
we would have a leak. But it's holding steady at 37.6.
What
That's
if like
big
a
deal.
piece of
And the
sand
second piece of good
got
news
like
is my
whipped
buddy
up
and
by the
warm-blooded good
ground
luck
and
charm
launched
Al
into
Chen
it or
had
something?
arrived. You might recognize Al as the other guy here with Adam, and he's the one who actually said this.
Touchdown confirmed. We're safe on Mars.
Oh, he's the one that said that? Okay.
If we were successful, he'd be the one to make the official call.
Oh,
and so after
really?
all the requisite last-minute
I guess that makes
preparations
sense.
and 3 long years,
Here we go, girl.
it was
3
finally
years?
time for liftoff.
This video took 3 years.
Ready?
Bro.
3, 2, 1. You're free!
Oh my. And it's just gone. So, do they have a target in mind, or is it literally just going to be wherever it hits?
Was just what we predicted, and that meant we for sure didn't have a leak, and things were finally breaking
It looks like
our
giant
way.
jellyfish, honestly.
Is that how it's supposed to look?
That'd be
It
worrying.
takes about 2 hours to get all the way up to space.
What if it lands on somebody's house
So
or
once the
something?
balloon hit 30,000 feet,
What if it
we
lands
decided
in a
to hop in the
volcano?
car so we
I
could
mean,
drive
super
over to the
unlikely
predicted
chance.
landing spot about 45 minutes away.
So
So
far,
they're just gonna
all
let it
systems
drop.
Nominal.
Okay.
Balloons in the air, it's ascending at the right rate. We've passed some critical threshold points, and we're
As
still in
hopefully the
game.
heaters and everything work.
5th time is the charm, as they say.
And we eventually started outrunning the balloon in the car, so we pulled over for a bit as we reached an important altitude milestone of 100,000 feet.
I'd say over 100.
Woo!
I don't know what the barrier
That's
is for
19
space.
miles up and 2.5 times higher than a typical commercial plane flies.
Yes.
And because the balloon expands so large as it rises, we realized we could actually even spot it from the ground.
With
which was
binoculars?
Awesome.
Wait,
yeah, no, I
really?
see it, yeah.
It's
Dude, that's
at
totally
100,000 feet?
What wasn't awesome was when moments later Joe, while looking through the binoculars, made this gut-wrenching observation.
No.
It looked really big and then it looked really small.
Did it pop?
You saw
Wait.
it small?
Saw
Yeah,
it small.
It like seems to be smaller.
But it's just weird that it would just completely disappear.
Which was followed by a devastating call from the balloon tracking team.
And
dropped within the last 2 minutes.
oh god.
That's 30,000 feet over the last however, so it's just popped.
But these don't pop. There's zero pressure.
And that's
wait,
true.
how does-
They don't pop. But unbeknownst to us, while we were
it was
looking
one of
from
those
the
weak
ground,
points.
the rocket and beach ball had been spinning around and around relative to the balloon for about 10 minutes. This meant the cord that attaches to the string that self-destructs the balloon was getting wrapped around tighter and tighter until it was so tight it pulled down on the balloon string that is designed to essentially unzip and destroy itself. And so before we even had the chance to release the rocket and beach ball from the balloon, it all started coming down in one big tangled heap at 150 miles per hour, which is way faster than the eggs could survive.
Oh, well, let's start driving.
And as we drove over, all I could think about was how our fate would rest solely in the hands of the redundant systems we'd put in place.
We think it's probably about 2 miles up that way.
Oh, do they think it landed?
This was our Apollo 13 moment. If our payload could autonomously jettison itself from the tangled rocket balloon mess at 20,000 feet, then it would be able to deploy our lucky orange parachute and land the
He keeps calling it the lucky orange parachute.
And as we parked,
it has to be.
We knew what was
it
done
also should be easy to find because
there was nothing left to do but go on a hunt
but
to find the wreckage and reveal our fate.
I see something orange. That looks like a rover parachute. Okay.
Okay. From 100,000 feet.
We've got a thing.
And
it kind of looks like it's smashed
was a
little
huge
bit.
deal because it meant it had actually autonomously ejected itself from the mangled weather balloon mess at 20,000 feet. And later when we checked the footage, this is exactly what it confirmed. And while that was incredible news, I knew by this point
but the egg
not
didn't
to get
survive.
my hopes up.
I mean, so let's look through the window. A little bit of dirt. You see.
Is it smashed?
Down, but
touchdown confirmed. Whether or not we're safe on Earth is TBD, right?
Check it out to be sure.
Oh man.
Wait, did it actually survive? It did.
Touchdown confirmed. We're safe on Earth.
We're safe on Earth. That is a hot egg.
It's hot? Oh, because it was in the heater.
Now it's on Earth. And it's not broken.
Now you have to go cook
After
it.
that, we tracked down the beach ball, which, as far as I was concerned, was just extra credit.
I mean, it's also an egg that went to space. Oh, that thing technically go to space. What, 100,000 feet up, though?
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Confirmed. Look at that. We're safe on Earth.
We are safe on Earth.
Was
the
so the beach ball, the redundancy, might have been the issue that caused. I'm not sure if
I was reminded that in life,
the missile would have wound it up enough.
Unfold how we think they will, but by learning from your failures, coupled with a bit of tenacity,
you know he's gonna have to try this again.
Accomplish a feat as incredible as the world's smartest Martian robot, or as ridiculous as the world's tallest egg drop.
I'm not sure where that image came from or anything.
Cool? Because, like, I hope you learned something by watching this video.
I mean, yeah.
But how much more would you have learned if you were out there in the desert with me, helping to, like, troubleshoot and put the rocket together?
What do you mean?
Well, I got great news for you. Because I got the next best thing.
Does it have, like, internships now?
And it's called the Crunch Labs Build Box. It's a toy that gets delivered right to your doorstep every month, and then we build it together while I teach you all the juicy physics that make it work. You're basically unlocking your own personal Mark Rover video every month where you learn a new engineering principle.
And isn't it signed or something?
Building like an engineer, but more
there was something that was signed, I think.
Thinking like an engineer. So you develop that resilience and those problem-solving skills. And by the way, don't go sleeping on just how cool the toys we'll be building together actually
I do not want to give my nephew that.
Like this insanely
because it's a weapon.
Rapid-fire disc launcher, or this linkage-powered drawing machine,
it might be a
or
little
this
bit beyond what he can do, but
launcher that will leave you feeling like you just landed your own dang egg from space.
Or
and I
you're
should
doing
mention
perfect.
that Crunch Labs is a real place. It's where we design all these boxes, and it's got a tennis ball cannon, and the world's longest Hot Wheels track, and a foam pit, and a bunch of other cool inventions.
It's like the
and
fantasy
each month
factory
when you
almost.
open your box that comes in the mail, you have a chance to find the platinum ticket.
Instead of the
And if
golden
your
ticket
box
like Willy
has it,
Wonka.
That means you and your family get to come out and visit me and my team for
That's
a
pretty
day,
cool.
and we'll build some cool stuff together.
I'm pretty sure he
if you
like
wanna
sold out of
embark on
these
this
when he
year-long
first
journey
announced
with
them.
me and make a sad Christmas tree like this a happy Christmas tree. Just
I'm
go
not
to
sure about the
crunchLabs.com or
ages.
use the link in the video description where we're giving away 2
That's
months
like
free
2 years way
as
too
a
young.
holiday special.
But do you want to see the Squirrel Olympics? I love the Squirrel Olympics videos that he did, and I know he's going to do the package thief videos as well. Like I said, I watched like every single video that he uploads and stuff like that. Well, I think I watched that on a well, actually no, it was 2 years ago. Actually, I'm not sure if that video is 2 or 3 years old because my channel was deleted 2 years ago, and I had to start this channel, and I'm trying to do 100 videos in the month of December. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There might be another Mark Rober video coming out in the future. I'm not sure what day it'll be uploaded. If you become a patron, you get all my videos a day early. You're going to get 96 videos in December for a month early, or the people that already are patrons. This video is coming out a couple days into December, but there's going to be a lot of videos coming out in the future. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hopefully it made you laugh, hopefully it made you smile, hopefully you learned something. And do you have any egg drop stories? I'm pretty sure most schools do, so please let me know if you have any. I love reading your comments, and I read every single one of them and reply to a lot of them. So hopefully I can make 100 videos this month. As long as I'm physically able to, I will be trying to do it. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Hopefully it made you smile, hopefully it made you laugh. But until next video, take care and keep the music.